Good morning, good evening, good night, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Welcome once again to another exciting session of Rage Across New York. Tonight, for those of you following the challenge of Miss Callie Krikos, she is seeking to complete another aspect of it. But this one is a bit more complex, something she can't do on her own without immense difficulty. Being a fairly smart little cookie, the idea pops into Callie's head that, hey, maybe that Elder Black Fury might know a thing or two. Maybe I could get some help from who I hope will become a mentor for me. And the subject of these thoughts, Wasp Stinger, one that most would consider unapproachable at best, has taken a liking to the young Black Fury, and though she has yet to really show it that much, she does wonder about her progress. So she will come to Callie as she's staying awake and guarding the sept, and just sort of cross her arms, lean back against a tree, and just watch, just see what she's up to and how she's handling her challenge.
As Callie walks into view of Lost Stinger, she does look immensely tired. Her eyes with dark circles underneath them. Her actual eyes in general just having a slightly glazed look to them. She walks with the bow gifted to her by Wasp Stinger, or one that she made her earn, depending on how you look at it. She has it draped over her shoulder, and she walks with one hand holding the bowstring and the other just holding freely at her side as she comes to a pause and jumps up on one of the rocks into the umbra and just kind of looks out back towards the city, looking outward to see if there's anything approaching.
As she's looking out across the city, Wasp Stinger will approach her and almost sneak up on her, just standing nearby. How's your challenge treating you?
If Callie were capable of it, her skeleton would pop out of her skin as she jumps up with a bit of a start and quickly notches a bow, and when she spins around, or notches an arrow into her bow, when she spins around, she nearly has the drawstring starting to pull back as she looks a little wild-eyed at Wasp Stinger, with a few heavy breaths coming in and out. Going well, she says very stalely.
You sound tired. How many more days do you have left?
She let out a big sigh. 3.
It's a long time to stay awake.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
The Wasp Stinger will reach back into a bag that she was holding and pull out a couple of wrapped sandwiches. Nothing supremely fancy, but tuna salad. And she'll offer one to Callie. Thought I'd bring you something.
Callie, normally not a fan of tuna in general, is hungry. She's tired, and at this point, it's all starting to taste the same anyway to her. So she very happily takes it and unwraps part of it to take a bite out of it. And then once she chews a bit and swallows, she looks up at Wasp Stinger. I didn't expect you to actually come and check on me, let alone bring me food.
Oh, why not?
Well, I mean, you're an Athro. You're important to the sept. You have important business to deal with. She kind of looks a little embarrassed. Guess I just didn't expect myself to be very high up on your list of priorities.
Well, I had a couple things to do, but checking on a promising young garou isn't that much trouble. Just wanted to make sure you were still all right.
I'm hanging in there. One of the children of Gaia decided to take up the whole I have to accept any challenge. And so I did. And he's now having to complete the rite with me.
That's interesting. What happens if he completes it?
Well, he wins the challenge. I really hadn't thought that far ahead.
Did they specify what would happen if he wins in a challenge against you?
No. Contemplates didn't. I just had to accept any challenge thrown my way. If someone wanted to throw me into a martial contest, or, well, I suppose it's more my choice, but I would have to take any challenge offered, so I did. And I decided to, rather than try and fight him, to outmaneuver him. She says with kind of a half smirk.
I see.
And since he was trying to be cheeky by challenging me, I thought this was a fitting challenge in return.
It sounds like it.
She'll move to sit more on the rock than crouch on it, and she places the arrow back into her quiver and places the bow over her shoulder once again. I do have another part of my challenge. I'm to learn spirit speech as well.
That's a fairly common gift in this sept, from what I've heard. Surprised to hear you don't have it already.
Well, I've been practicing more with learning things about the more occult and things on the spiritual side of our people. I've managed to actually learn a handful of rites. I'm studying to learn rite of binding. So I guess it's only a natural progression for me to learn spirit speech then.
I suppose so. And a rune who can make her own fetishes is a very valuable asset.
Well, Talon's first, and then I'll work my way up to fetishes. I do have an idea about something I've been wanting to try, but I think I need to work my way up the ladder a little bit more.
Smart to start small.
One piece at a time. But I was hoping that I was going to see you at least at some point towards the tail end of this challenge, because she kind of crunkles her nose and chews on her lip before looking up at Wasp Stinger. I was hoping that if anyone were to teach me the gift to speak to spirits, it would be you.
I suppose I could do that.
And Callie seems to take the bow and quiver off of her shoulders and rest them on the rock behind her.
The Wasp Stinger will move to sit down close by. Gifts are interesting. They're not taught in the way that I would show you how to use a bow. It's sort of something that you have to make a part of yourself.
Someone once told me that it's very possible that you can learn gifts without having to consult a spirit or gain a spirit's blessing by reworking your own essence, your own spirit, but I heard it's very dangerous.
It's much more difficult, and it runs a lot of unnecessary risks. Generally, it's frowned upon to learn gifts from another garou.
In this case,
like any other. What I can do for you is summon a spirit or two and ask if they will bless you.
well, Callie at that point seems to smirk a bit as she's going to roll her noses to see if she can't tap into her spirit, if that's okay. Her totem.
Yeah, go for it.
I got a 10. So Callie begins to concentrate, saying a small prayer and calling out for Chameleon, calling him by name, and then opens her eyes to see if the wily little spirit, the elusive little spirit, has indeed made his way there.
And she looks around for a while, and as usual, it does take her a few minutes to see the shimmering little silhouette that is her totem, slowly approaching. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry.
And Callie will, upon seeing the little lizard-type spirit, she'll hold her hand down for him with a smile.
He will mosey on over, taking his sweet time as he looks around, before reaching one of his weird little hands out and climbing up her arm.
You've been looking over me for quite a while, little guy. And I think I've tempered myself quite a bit since falling into your patronage.
Chameleon tilts its head to the side, its little eyes looking all around it. One of them resting on Callie. The other one, after a moment, rests on Wastinger.
I feel that maybe now that I've brought at least three people together, three garou together to form a pack under you, I was hoping that maybe you'd be pleased enough with my actions to teach me how to speak with you.
And Wastinger, of course, will serve as the translator for this interaction. As Chameleon turns its attention towards her, before turning it back to Callie and nodding its head a couple of times slowly. Wastinger replies, "It wants to meet its pack."
May and Heinrich have duties outside the set. I'm the only one that's here currently.
Chameleon understands. It would like to meet the pack in return for you teaching it, and will ask the pack to give it gifts of Gnosis and anything else they can offer.
I think May would be very eager to do this. Heinrich knows to respect spirits, so I think he will do this as well.
The chameleon nods before finally dropping its little its camouflage and returning to a light greenish yellow color. If Callie knows anything about chameleons in the real world, it means it's calm, fairly happy.
Callie does not. But she likes the colors. And she'll just reach up and scratch the chameleon just under its chin.
It'll lift its head and just concentrate, still in silence. Chameleon is not a spirit that makes many noises. And as it continues to concentrate, enjoying the contact from its patron, it begins to glow with a soft sort of light yellow-green light that almost matches its skin. After a while, this will break off of the chameleon, forming a bubble, and it will drift towards Callie, making contact with her spirit as well.
Does Callie need to do anything for this, dear storyteller?
A gift of Gnosis would be appreciated.
Callie will happily give up a point of Gnosis.
And it will float outwards from Callie, passing the chameleon's gift as well, as the two of them absorb these things into their spirit. And Chameleon didn't bother to check to see if it works. Instead, looking at Callie just quietly, the corners of its mouth upturned in a very slight smile.
She seems to be hesitant, almost with a bit of trepidation, as she looks at the little lizard on her shoulder, and finally, after a brief pause, hopefully you can understand me a bit better now.
Chameleon will nod its head, and in a very quiet voice, ringing between her ears, Callie will hear the words, "I do."
Callie seems to have her lip quiver just slightly as she looks very, very excited, to the point where her eyes kind of narrow and maybe a few tears fall from her eyes as she just feels like she's actually accomplishing something.
The spirit will climb up her shoulder and reach one of its little hands out to wipe the tears away. It will say, "Complete your challenge and gather your pack. I will watch over you," before once again turning invisible and heading back into the forest of the Umbra.
Callie watches him until he's visible no more, and even then a bit longer, before turning to Wasp Stinger.
Wasp Stinger will she'll seem very proud of Callie, even smiling a bit before saying, "See, you didn't need me after all."
Maybe not, but she just kind of offers a smile and places a hand on Wasp Stinger's shoulder. I do feel a little bit more confident with you around.
She nods. "I understand, but don't doubt yourself so much."
It's a trait I've had since I was young. It really didn't pan out except when I started. And she pauses and thinks about her words for a moment and just kind of half chuckles. It's something I hadn't really considered until my mom passed away.
In our line of duty, we lose a lot of people, and a lot of them are very dear to us. But you can't let that loss weaken you. It has to make you stronger.
It has, and it drives me to excel, not only for her sake, but my dad's, and I don't know, you've been a good teacher to me, and I respect you a lot. You kind of make me feel like my mom's not all that far away sometimes, you know?
Your mother and all of your ancestors before her are watching over you. They're still here.
Yeah, I know. And so with that, she stands and pulls your gear and slings it back on. I hear that there's going to be a moot soon.
I believe so. The elders in the other Othro of the Sept are busy preparing for it right now. I doubt it would be violating your right for you to go see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Guarding the Sept also includes from internal strife as well. So maybe just be there to keep the peace.
All right. Well, I too have a bit of preparation to do. I'm glad to see you're doing well. Keep it up. And with that, she'll give Callie sort of a stiff nod before turning and heading back into the Sept proper.
And Callie will seem to just shrug her shoulders with a bit of excitement and smile to herself before picking up a quickened pace to finish her last rotation of running around the Sept before heading back towards the internal area for the actual moot itself.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end our scene. Thank you, Vinny, for playing. Thank you to our one viewer for watching. I'll see you at the moot.